Hello, everybody out there today. We're here with Kristin Jones and talking all things magazines. So this kind of started, Kristin posted a video on Instagram that generated a bunch of questions, not only to her, but to us. And so to answer everybody's questions, we thought we'd jump on and create a video really quick. Just so you know a little bit about Kristin. She's a fabulous senior photographer based in Utah and sometimes traveling back to Minnesota to photograph as well. And so I'm so grateful that you were willing to create this video with us to answer some of these questions. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So I guess the first question is, why magazines? What do you do with them?
Why not? So I've started selling magazines. So not only to give families something to give to their kid to take to college, for them to keep at home, to give the grandparents more than just an 8x10 to hang on the wall. So that I was trying to find an option and a way to do it to make lots of people happy. I know in my family that it's something that we like to do, right? Flip through and reminisce about whatever the thing was. And so that's why I like to sell them in a set, right? And to initiate this, so my best seller are albums. I sell 8x8, 10x10, and 12x12 albums. And I only sell the integrity album. So there's not like a low-end album, mid album, and a high-end album. It's if you're going to get an album, you're going to get an integrity album. And these are the three sizes. But not everyone wants an album. And I was trying to find a product that could be used as more of an entry level that benefited the client and their family, and also didn't take the time away for, the product, because it takes just as much work to create a magazine as it does an album. So it's trying to be time effective, but still create an alternate product for clients that didn't want an album. And so that's when, you guys have a set, they sell them in a set of 10. And so that fit what I needed rather than just buying one. And I have looked at other magazines and I have used other magazine companies, but the quality isn't there. And that's why I liked using McKenna's, because the quality is a lot better. And so here's a set right here. So that's how I do it. And this is how I market it. You have minimum that orders a set of 5, and that's one for the senior, right? And this is for, they could take it to college, they could leave it at home. One for the parents, one for each set of grandparents, and then one for the grad party. And what's nice about this is, let's say parents, you can switch it out. Parents are divorced, right? They each get a magazine, right? If there's multiple steps, they get a magazine. But here's the deal. I have to buy them in a set of 10, and I'm only offering the client 5. So here's how I approach that. So they get 5, and then they can buy, I give them a 6th for free. I don't tell them I'm giving them that, but I give them an extra as a backup. And so they get a set of 6, and then I have 4 left. And so I offer the last 4 at half price. So it's a bundle of 5 initially, and then they get a better deal if they buy. Sometimes they buy extra, sometimes they don't. They may or may not have people that need those magazines. And if they don't, that's fine. I use them like this I use them for demos. I use them to show people what it looks like. And I don't sell a ton of them a year, but I sell, 4 or 5 sets a year. The other thing that I market it as is an add-on to the album. So they buy the album for themselves, and then they buy the set of 5 magazines, again, to give to family, friends, people that have been important to the senior over the years, that kind of thing. And so a few have done that. They get the album for themselves. They don't want to put their really nice album out at the grad party. So they get a set of magazines, they pass them out to family and friends, and then they have something to hand, or for people to see the senior pictures at the grad party without having to worry about their big album. So they come, like I said, in a set of 5. I put them each in like a cellophane sleeve. So they look really nice. So they get that. I stack them together, I wrap a ribbon around it, and that's how it's presented to them. So they look really nice, and it's ready.
Kristin, is each one packaged separately, or you put them all together in just one sleeve?
Because they're meant to be, I want them to look nice and feel nice and have more of a here's your magazine. Like here's something special for you. And so I buy these just as a, I don't know how many in the pack on Amazon, and we can put the link in the description, but they're just, they fit perfectly.
Perfect.
Folds over, boom, done. So they get those in a set like that, and then they distribute them as they wish. What questions do you have?
So I'll ask you a few things about the product. So we offer two sizes, a 5.5 by 8.5 and a 8.5 by 11. I know the answer, but the people watching this don't. Which one are you using?
This is only 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
I like the big size. I like, and the other thing we talk about, I like, is it only saddle stitched? Is the magazine, that's how it comes? It's not an
Yes.
option, right? So one of the things I like about the magazine, I like the albums that lay flat, and I like the way this lay flat, especially when you cross a seam, right? And I don't often cross a seam in a magazine because just the structure of it is not great. But as you can see here, sometimes I do cross the seam, and it just, you're able to see the image better.
Yeah. So 8.5 by 11.
Yes.
We offer two surfaces, a gloss and a pearl. Which are you using?
I use the gloss mostly because it's uniform. I mean, pearl, it would be more a girl cover and not a guy cover. So I keep it uniform. So all gloss. And they look really good. And one thing about these magazines that are different than others from that I've used before is the cover's thick. I don't know what the cover is, but it's more substantial, and it's a thicker paper than the pages, so it just looks better, presents better.
Yeah, it's 130-pound cardstock for the cover, and then the pages are a text weight. So the pearl, just to comment on that, it's a beautiful paper, but it is iridescent, so it'll change color a little bit in the light. So if you do choose to use that, just be aware of that. That it will be a little bit iridescent.
Awesome. And then so when I first started doing these, they were just like this. But last year I started thinking, you know what, I really should. So now I've been adding their name on it and their.
Oh, nice. That's a good touch.
It fits more like what a magazine is. And so this is my latest rendition is this. So that's it.
Perfect. So we offer the magazines, specifically the one Kristin's doing here, the 8.5 by 11, anywhere from 8 sides on up to 52. On average, about how many pages are you doing in your magazine?
I would say 30 to 40. The size is it's a different shape than the albums. And so I spread the pictures out a little bit more because there's less square footage to cover. So generally more than what's in an album. And I design them in Fundy, so it's not hard, it's fast. But just upload it to the McKenna, the Rose software.
Yep.
I had one other comment, can't remember. I'll think about it. Is there it while you're talking?
Sure. So some of the other uses that we see others use the magazine for would be marketing material. So it could be a price guide that you mail to a potential senior or a portrait session. We see the magazines used as a clothing guide or kind of getting the family prepared for the session, talking about session locations, what to expect. It could be marketing material about the studio. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. So really the magazine is very versatile. You can do like what Kristin's doing here with selling it as a finished product, or use it to help gain sales or gain those sessions.
Which probably was the initial purpose of selling in a set of 10, correct?
Yeah. Yep. So just to clarify, you have to purchase 10 to begin with, but then you can purchase any quantity after that. So if you want to get 12, you can do that. They don't have to be 10, 20, 30, but 10 is the minimum.
And that's why I really like the product, but I was trying to figure out how to make it work with 10, and that's why I do this way. And it's actually been successful. And the other thing is that I like is people don't know they want it until you present it to, right? And
very true.
Hey, well, here's one for you. Here's one for your senior. They can take to college. And then what about the grandparents? What about the aunts and uncles? Do you really want to put your album out at the grad party? And then it kind of expands the vision. And they're like, oh yeah, maybe I do want that. And so I don't know. I know what I was going to say. The one tricky thing about the magazine that is different than the album is the page increments have to be increments of 4, right? So you can't do like an 18-page album. It has to be a 16 or a magazine, 16 or 20 page. So that's just a one caveat you have to pay attention to when you're creating it in
very true.
The page count matches what the ordering software allows.
Yeah. And if you're not sure what the allotments are, when you get into the McKenna Easy Order, you'll see the 8, the 12, the 16, 20, 24, etc. All the different page counts. So good point.
Right.
So question, you said you sell them in sets of 5. You give them an additional one as a bonus, so that leaves 4. Mm-hmm. What do you do with them if you don't get them to purchase the additional 4?
They are in the studio for all to see. So just like the albums, here's a couple different options. So because I travel a lot back to Minnesota and Utah, so I always have 3 or 4 with me when I go back to Minnesota, and they're easy. I love them because they're small and they're easy to show.
And lightweight.
Yeah, and lightweight, right? Yes. Let's talk about what, Delta charges you when you go over 50 pounds, right, on your baggage. Yeah. But then I take them, I don't know, when I'm talking to other photographers, right? And I show those as samples. So they're also a great way. So let's say I'm not even trying to sell the album. It's an easy way to show my work to people, right? Like when I go to I don't do BNIs. There's a local chamber of commerce that here in Utah, and I go to their luncheons. And if we do show and tell, so I don't have a headshot one here. I do have headshot ones as well. But my headshot ones is more like what you're talking about. Set of 10. Here's what I do. Here's what a headshot session is all about. So that's more traditional use of it, but same thing, right? And it's a great way to show a lot, and people can just flip through and very quickly see, oh, this is what her work looks like. This is the kind of stuff she can do. So for me, I find that, I use them in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't sell the 4, you can have samples at the studio. You can travel with them. If you have a boutique clothing store that you want the seniors, buying their clothes from, or that they are buying their clothes from, give one of those to them so it's on the counter. Obviously make sure it's got your branding on there so they know who to hire to photograph those senior photos or portrait sessions. But really those extras could be used in so many different ways. So yeah, cool.
And even like this is a sample one. So as you can see, there's a girl, there's a guy, and then each page is a different senior. So I have one just like this for headshots as well. But this is great if you're trying to present yourself, if you're, actually, even if a client is looking for one for themselves, often I show them one of these sample ones. So I have a couple of the sample ones. And then honestly, like these are all just ones that people bought, and these are extras that I use. So
sure. Yeah. So there you go. So you buy them in sets of 10. She's selling 5, gifting an additional one as a bonus, and then hopefully selling those additional 4. But if you don't, they're not just going to sit in a drawer as junk. You have a purpose for those. Yes. So all 10 of them are getting used one way or another.
Yes.
Perfect. Anything else about magazines that everybody should know?
No, I think they're a great product. And
thank you.
Albums are expensive, but they're gonna last, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to gift a relative or maybe someone close to your senior something that is more cost effective, that really shows that you care about them and acknowledging what they helped your child do growing up or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like there's a place for these that maybe we don't take advantage of as much as we could.
Sure. So you can find the base templates on our website if you're going to design those in Photoshop, or if you use Fundy like Kristin mentioned. Once you design them, load them into the McKenna Easy Order or the McKenna Web and order those 10 magazines. And then from there, turnaround time, a day or two, and then we'll ship them to you wherever you're located, and then start selling them to your customers or using them for marketing to gain new customers. So it's a great, very versatile product.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and explaining how you use these press printed magazines to help generate business and income for your studio.
Thank you. All right, everybody, order some. They're awesome.
Thank you, Kristin.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.